I understand that self-publishing is not for everyone, but it is the road that I chose and it's what's best for me. I want to tell you why I decided to become a self-published author. When I was a kid, I would write all the time. I would just have journals and notebooks of everything that I wrote. I just never shared it with anybody. Let me change that. There were very few people that I shared it with. And of course, with family and friends, they're going to give you positive encouragement and encourage you to keep going. But I still felt that my writing was very personal for me. When I was in high school, I had dreams of becoming this famous writer and director, and that was what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to write and direct movies. For some reason, I just never moved toward that goal. Even though I was not writing and directing, I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to tell stories that were inspiring. I wanted to tell stories that encouraged people. I didn't know much about self-publishing. I didn't even know that was an option, but I knew that I wanted to publish a book. So I started researching how to publish a book and I got a little bit discouraged. I read the stories of amazing writers who said that when they were sending out their manuscripts, they were turned down 20, 30, some even 100 times before they were published. That just didn't sound like the process that I wanted to go through. I didn't need someone to tell me that I was a bad writer so that I could become a better writer. I didn't need someone to tell me, stick to your day job because writing is not for you. I knew what the calling was on my life. Okay, so I wrote my first book. It needed some work, but I did all the writing, all the editing, and I got my book with CreateSpace, which was a part of Amazon at the time. Oh, and how did I find out about CreateSpace? My husband knew that I really wanted to write. He knew that I wanted to make it a career. So he started researching how I could publish my book, and he found the route of self-publishing. He found a few companies for me, but I ended up landing on CreateSpace, which was a part of Amazon. So I paid them to make my book cover and to organize my manuscript. They wrote all the marketing text for it, and I was actually finally a published author. We had this nice little book signing party, and I just knew from there that my life was going to change as a self-published author. Well, it didn't change. I didn't realize that I still needed to put the work in to keep getting my book out there. Now let's fast forward a few years. I wrote my second book and I wanted to publish with CreateSpace, but I had lost track of the self-publishing information. I didn't know how self-publishing was changing, and found out that when I was ready to publish, CreateSpace was no longer the route to publishing. It had actually changed to KDP. Now I realized that all of the work, I had to do it on my own. And I struggled through that process because it was so much easier having someone else do it. But I was able to get book 2 published. It took me a few more years to write book 3, but I was able to write that book even while I was teaching. For a while, I just decided I didn't want to write anymore. I wasn't seeing much traffic for my books. I wasn't really doing anything with them. My books were just there. They were just out there. And I hadn't realized that I needed to put more time and effort into letting people know where my books were. I decided I would just focus on teaching, but then I left teaching and I got a part-time job while I was at home, and I still wasn't writing the way that I should have. I wasn't focused on writing the way that I should have been. One thing that I have learned over the years is that consistency is the key. I've learned that for self-publishing to work, I have to be consistent. I have to meet deadlines. I have to do those things that are not as exciting as the writing part. I have to be consistent in marketing. I have to be consistent in letting people know where they can find my books. I have to write newsletters and emails. Those are all important things that go into self-publishing. Those are the things that go into me being responsible for my self-publishing business. So the things that I see that are different from traditional publishing and self-publishing, traditional publishing, that's basically where you answer to someone else. Your books are not your own for a certain amount of time. I know that with traditional publishing, they will hold on to the rights for a certain amount of time. And I believe in the most part that you can get the rights back from your book, but you have to finish out a contract before you do that. The one thing about a contract, you may get money up front, you may not. It depends on the publisher. And that's another thing that if I'm going the traditional route, I'm going that route because I know that there is more likely the opportunity for payment. I don't want it to be kind of that up in the air, iffy situation. And when you're traditionally published, of course, you're going to write what the publisher wants you to write. Now, I'm not against traditional publishing in any way. I think that that is amazing if you can get published traditionally. It's just not the route that I took to get started. Now, with self-publishing, I'm the boss. I decide my voice. I decide what I want to write. Now, believe me, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. There has truly been a huge learning curve in self-publishing, but I'm okay with that because I feel like it's something that is truly growing me as an author. I have gone the long way in the self-publishing route. And I just want to share with you what I've learned, what I am learning, what I will continue to learn as I go through this process. I really hope that this video has been helpful for you. If you've learned anything from this video, please share it with me in the comments. Also, if you like this video, please give it a like so that other people can see it as well. I am hoping that you will subscribe so you can see more of the content that I will be bringing to this channel. I look forward to talking with you very soon.